president did nothing wrong. There is no quid pro quo. That's been said over and over and over again. And again, it's why they're doing all of this behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors. That's the phrase we're looking for. And it perfectly sets up the amazing video that we're about to show you from tonight's Democratic National Convention. And it features former White House press secretary and then Melania Trump's assistant, tonight's featured speaker and the subject of our report, Stephanie Grisham. Earlier tonight, she defiantly took to the stage to tell another behind closed doors story, a truly shocking one, and you have to applaud her resolve to share her firsthand account of what it was like when Trump was not preening and performing for the cameras, but rather revealing his true self, as if it couldn't get any worse. But it turns out it does, and before we go to the DNC, let's quickly chart the path that led Stephanie Grisham to the stage in Chicago tonight.
On another subject, Stephanie Grisham never held a press briefing in her brief tenure as White House press secretary, now moving back to the East Wing and going back to the First Lady's office?
That's right. She's going back to the First Lady's office as the chief of staff. Her tenure here was notable, Andrea, because she didn't hold a press briefing during her tenure as press secretary. She was the president's third press secretary, following, of course, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She officially started the role back in July of 2019. She's going to be replaced by Kayleigh McEnany.
And as you're about to see in tonight's sensational clip from the DNC, the road to political redemption is complete for Stephanie Grisham. Well, it's a journey that began for her on January 6th.
That day, before you resigned, you tried to get your then boss, Melania Trump, the First Lady, to say something. And I'm not talking about something incredibly bold, something fairly innocuous. What is it you wanted her to say?
Correct. I wanted her to say, I'm paraphrasing a little, but do you want to tweet out that, to assemble is the right of every American, but there is no room for violence and hatred? Nothing political, nothing. I mean, just please, let's take the temperature down. And when she wrote back no, one word no, I just stared at the phone. I was shocked, and I was kind of waiting for a follow-up of maybe we should say this, but there was just nothing. It was just no. And I waited 15 minutes to make sure I wasn't, and then I resigned.
Now here's Stephanie Grisham on stage in Chicago tonight at the podium of truth as the world watches, recounting the qualities of a man who not only leads the GOP, stands convicted of 34 felony charges, but has also gleefully tainted the Republican Party with his foul political DNA. Now let's find out what he's really like.
I wasn't just a Trump supporter. I was a true believer. I was one of his closest advisors. The Trump family became my family. I spent Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all at Mar-a-Lago. I saw him when the cameras were off. Behind closed doors, Trump mocks his supporters. He calls them basement dwellers. On a hospital visit one time when people were dying in the ICU,
Thanks to Stephanie Grisham for saying the things that we all knew to be true, and doing so knowing what that cheap little bully is capable of. But I'll bet she feels better, because in the annals of history, night 2 of the Democratic Convention will go down as the night America saw a very qualified person speak truth to power.